Patio, Wildhorse Fitness. We're just going to talk a little bit about nutrition. Some basics. Basically, my mentor is a guy named John Perillo. If you want to know about him, look him up online, Perillo.com. He's an absolute genius. He co-authored a book called Lean Bodies with a guy named Cliff Sheets. He's a PhD in nutrition. And the whole concept is decreasing body fat by increasing calories. As a general rule, what we see in the business is people come to the club, double their calorie expenditure, cut their calorie intake by half, lose some weight, slow their metabolism, stall out, start to eat like a human being again, and they're bigger and fatter than when they started. It's the vicious circle, and it will always be that way. The idea, and everybody here I know agrees, is you've got to feed the machine. Muscle mass is the most anabolic tissue in the body. It burns calories 24/7, but you have to feed it. I mean, I'm eating 5,200 calories a day, and my body fat's below 5.5. We did the calories yesterday. So if you think that you're going to lose weight by not eating, you're right, but you're going to lose muscle tissue because your body has to metabolize something for energy, and it's not going to burn stored fat if it feels like it needs it. Go ahead.
What would you normally start your day off with breakfast-wise?
First thing I do is out of bed because my need for protein is huge. My body's catabolic when it wakes up. You do 75% of your healing in your sleep. So, and what you heal with are amino acids, the building blocks of protein. So the first thing I have out of bed is a protein shake. My protein shake has 56 grams of protein in it. I'm hearing everybody right now, oh, you can't assimilate more than 26 or 32. Well, the reality of that is that it's on a loop. And as the body needs it, it starts to metabolize so many grams of protein. So who knows really what that number is? But a good rule of thumb, I say, is to take in 50 grams of protein per sitting. I mean, there's no way that you can convince me that my daughter, who weighs 112 pounds, has the same capacity to metabolize protein as Blake.
Scientifically, doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Systemically, it doesn't add up. And the biggest problem we have today is people don't eat, except they'll go all day and have a salad and what do I have for breakfast? Oh, I had a yogurt, 16 grams of sugar,
with some toast.
And I had a salad, piece of toast, and then at night, well, I just had, green beans and a chicken breast. But they're maintaining 25, 26, 30% body fat. That doesn't happen that way. What happens is you starve all day. By the time you get home, you are just ravaged, and you will eat anything put down in front of you. It's not your fault. I mean, that's how the body survives. 4.5 million years of evolution has taught the body one thing, and that is to survive. Eat all the food when you get it, and as much of it as you can. The problem is today, the caloric density of a food is 10 times what an antelope was on the prairie 4.5 million years ago, and we're not doing anything to catch it. So we're not doing any exercise. We're eating calorically dense food that's been processed. It's loaded with sodium and sugar. And it all adds up to epidemic proportions of obesity, insulin dependency, high blood pressure, all the things that are actually killing everybody out there today. There's no there's no easy answer. You have to show discipline in your life at least 4 to 5 days a week, and then cheat on the weekends. And if you do that consistently, you'll see changes in your body that are sustainable and last forever. If you don't, you won't.
You get good habits out of it too.
Right.
You really learn how to live. Besides,
it's simple. Like if you just I cook all my food on Sunday night, and that's good for at least until Wednesday or Thursday.
That's how I used to do it. I'd make Sunday and then Wednesday. But now, I'm lucky enough that Jillian Tedesco over at Fit Flavors does my meals for me, and she's an absolute genius. People tell me, well, I'm not going to eat chicken breast for the rest of my life. Well, you can go over there and damn near eat anything she has in the cooler. At any one time, she has 28 to 30 different kinds of meals, portion controlled. Everything's good.
Everything's labeled.
Everything's labeled, and it tells you exactly what's in it. So, the thing is, you've got to go out and educate yourself. You have to learn how to eat. I've seen cases where fat-free cookies will actually have more calories in them than the regular cookies because they load it with sugar so it'll taste good, so you'll freaking eat it. I have these people, what kind of salad dressing can I have? Balsamic vinegar and oil, that's it. Well, what about fat-free ranch? Read the label. 16 grams of sugar. And I keep hearing all this crap about what's that yogurt everybody eats?
Greek.
16 grams of sugar, and the lowest yogurt I can find. And everybody's, oh, it's 8. No, the serving size, little thing, is 2 servings, so it's 16. Those are the kinds of things you need to read. You know, the sugar causes insulin surge, blocks your body's ability to burn fat. It's the worst thing you can do to yourself. So the way I see it is, you got to eat breakfast like a king, you got to eat lunch like a queen, and you got to eat dinner like a pauper, and you have to snack in between.
Biggest meal of the day, what is it?
Biggest meal of the day is breakfast. Load up.
And there's no rules. Like, you don't have to have eggs for breakfast. I know a guy that eats salmon. So, I mean, it's as long as
I've seen you eat chicken and rice. Yeah.
No, well, question, you know, my body doesn't know what time it is. Bye. You know, just feed yourself, for God's sake. My fiance would, train every day. Woman has most discipline ever. Wouldn't eat. She didn't understand the caloric values, and she was afraid she was going to get fat. Now she eats, and she went from 18% to 9%. You know, but she gained 10 pounds. 10 pounds of muscle. I have a woman gain 6 pounds and lost 3 dress sizes. Forget the scale.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel you look, how your clothes fit, and what your body fat percentage is. But for God's sake, eat. Feed yourself, because you will regret it if you stall your metabolism over a long period of time. Makes it harder to start over and to fix it. Okay, we're going to talk about a little bit about gluten-free. Gluten-free doesn't mean carb-free. People think it does. And here's where I get kind of sketchy about the whole gluten-free, celiacs, that kind of stuff, is that liability. If you are diagnosed with eating problems, digestive problems, you do exactly what your doctor tells you to do and exactly what a registered dietitian tells you to do. I can change your body, and I know what's worked for my clients over an extended period of time, but they're all reasonably healthy and do not have any bizarre eating disorders or any outstanding problems that need medical attention. Now, having said that, the true occurrence of 100% gluten allergy is so rare it almost never happens. Too many people self-diagnose. Fibromyalgia, I'm gluten intolerant, I'm lactose intolerant, I'm this and this and this and this and this. Well, you know what? It's not necessarily true. Now, I'm not saying it isn't true in some cases, but just because you feel a little upset stomach doesn't mean you're gluten intolerant, you know? It doesn't mean that you can't eat this or you can't eat that. You need to take a good hard look over an extended period of time and slowly remove things from your diet that could be causing a problem. So if you think I'm going to go gluten-free, that way I'm not going to get carbs and I'll be lean, it's not true. I mean, go to the gluten-free store. It's all carbs. It's all processed. So, you know, low-carb diets are effective, okay? Because what happens is your body needs energy. Your body uses carbohydrates, turns it into glucose, and burns it for energy. The idea is that you will force your body to start burning protein for energy. The problem is, if you don't eat enough protein to spare muscle tissue, you break down muscle tissue and burn that. Protein is a very poor energy source, so your body has to use 2.5 times the amount of protein as it does carbohydrates to get done what it needs to get done. But zero carb is dangerous. It takes 50 grams of carbohydrates to operate your brain for a day. I say a low carb is anything under 100. So yeah, and I mean, you can get that in your first meal and your snack. So start your breakfast with a 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup of oatmeal, whole grain. Pour it in your shake, and then, you know, later on have a sweet potato or something like that, and then start to drop your starches all the way down the line.
What about fats?
Fats, you know, here's the thing about fats is that I like MCTs, medium chain triglycerides, because they call it the fatless fat. It can't be stored as fat because the molecular structure is too short. Your body absorbs it through the membrane and burns it as energy, so it tricks the body. All of a sudden the body feels like it's got all this energy that it has to burn off. Your metabolism speeds up. It feels like it's getting plenty of caloric value, so it doesn't store body fat. But it's a fine line, because if you're pounding the carbs, you're eating, you know, if you're eating too much fat. I mean, I have people go on diets, and I'm like, well, what'd you have for dinner? I say, well, every night I had salmon, and I put olive oil and everything. Fat's fat. I mean, it's 9 calories. It's unsaturated, but it's still 9 calories. Unless you're going to add MCT to your diet, you got to be careful. I'm a big fan of flaxseed. I'm a big fan of olive oil, but you got to remember that it's still 9 grams of fat. So if you're going to drop your carbs way low, you can up your fat a little bit as long as you're exercising, you know, as long as you're cutting out the any kind of sugars or processed carbohydrates. All right, so wrap it all up. I mean, obviously there's more to this dieting thing than we can just throw out there real quick, because I know there's a million questions, but you have to think about it logically and just be smart about it. If you're very confused, come in, talk to us, sit down. You get 2 sessions with your membership. We'll sit down and talk nutrition with you until we're blue in the face. We'll set you up on what to eat, how to eat, you know, the whole 9 yards, which you're not going to get anywhere else. And the idea is that we want it to fit into your lifestyle, so it's real. It's not something that you're going to do for 3 months and forget about, or 3 weeks. So, you know, something that will fit in what you do. Anything else? All right,
good.
so we'll come up with some video for the next time. Give us some suggestions. Maybe we'll surprise you with something. See ya.